And they go, "Where's Mrs. K?" And I'm like, "I am Mrs. K. What are you talking about?" And they're like, "No, you're not." I'm like, "Yes, I am." And they go, "If you're Mrs. K, why do you have glasses and a big nose?" And I'm like, "Damn. Okay. I guess I'm not Miss K." And is like we climbed one volcano to get a really good view of another.
Whoa. What? Huh? I didn't even know that there were active volcanoes. That feels like it should be a bigger deal. Yeah.
Hey, do I look tan? I think I don't like the lighting in my room personally. Because if I turn this up, I turn into this color.
Is that your ring light? What is that?
It's it is a pentagon. It is made up of 5 sides, not a ring.
Oh, of course.
You can see it. You can see it in the reflection of my glasses.
Oh, there's the pentalight. I see it.
And then if I use my overhead light.
Oh, you got a glary forehead there, man. Like,
yeah, I know. I'm a greasy boy. What's going on? It's been a long time.
Yeah, it has been a long time. Jesus Christ.
Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Happy St. Patrick's Day. Happy belated. By a day. I'm sorry we didn't get to do a pod last night.
That's okay. It wouldn't have been good.
Yeah, you're right. I was like, we're gonna do this, and it's gonna be bad, which is gonna suck. It's gonna be the first time we've talked in a month.
It's been a while.
Right. Yeah, but we've got a lot to catch up on. You've climbed a mountain.
I've done. Okay, so this is. I described it to my sister-in-law. I said, for the first time in almost a decade, I've been busy. Like, I just really, for a long time, have not had shit going on.
Right. And now you do, or you have
to. Yeah.
So before we get into the mountain, I want to just check in with the job. How's teaching?
Yes, I am a substitute teacher. Can you tell by my collared shirt?
I can. I can.
I wear collared shirts now.
Whoa, man. That's so. Besides the change to your wardrobe, what else is new? What else is it like? What's it been like?
Well, I've been there for like over a month now, which is crazy because now it's like I know the kids and the teachers, and it's not like, okay, so how it started was I had 2 days of orientation, which was literally just me sitting in on different classes, just like sitting in the back watching the teacher.
Okay.
And then on the 3rd day, they threw me to the wolves. Do you know who the wolves are in this situation?
I think I do. It's like the toddlers, right? The preschoolers or the kindergartners.
They gave me a kindergarten class all to myself for an entire day for my first day ever substitute teaching. And I'm just like, this is so different. There was one girl who cried the entire time. And at the end of the day, I was like, "Why did you cry all day?" And she just like pointed at me. And I was like, "It was because of me?" And she was like, "Yeah."
I don't like you.
I was like, God damn, these kids. It was like, so every kid in the entire school has an iPad. And so it's like, you know, I was trying to get them to do a worksheet or do like a morning meeting or all the stuff that the teacher had laid out. But they weren't doing any of those things. They were just kind of like running in circles and screaming at the top of their lungs unless they had their iPad in front of them, in which case they like were screaming at only like using only like half their lungs, you know, but they were still whatever. At one point, the like dean of students, like person in charge of discipline, comes into the room, and it's like nobody's at their desk. Half the class is sitting around the teacher's desk, because that's where I had been sitting for a second, and all the students are like, "Can I sit here? Can I sit here? Can I sit here?" And I'm like, "Sure." And then there's like 2 kids on the carpet who are like, "Can you read us a story?" I'm like, "Yeah, okay, great." So I go over to the carpet to read them a story. Meanwhile, some kids had like taken that opportunity to sit in the teacher's chair, which is a bigger chair for a toddler. So there were like 3 kids in one chair. All of those kids around the desk were on iPads playing games. I was on the carpet reading Green Eggs and Ham to like 2 students when the dean of students walks in and is just like, what is going on here? No one is where they're supposed to be. They're all playing games. And in my mind, I'm like, this is actually the best they've been all day. I was like, they are so well behaved right now that they are out of their seats and on their iPads. Um,
So, like, was it like get them back in their seats and off their iPads, or was it just kind of like fix this, and then the dean walked away?
yeah, someone else came in and was like, I'm going to read you Green Eggs and Ham. And I'm like, I already tried that. And he was like, shh, everyone to the carpet, sit down, we are reading. And he like had control of the class. I was like, how does he do it? And then it was lunchtime or something else. I don't know. But it's been a learning experience. My experience as a camp counselor has come in handy. But I do not
Good.
have teaching experience. These kids.
No.
These kids.
Right. It's a learning experience for them, for you,
For everyone.
for both of y'all.
I had,
have they? Okay, here. Please continue.
because now I have like a month's worth of substitute teaching stories to tell you.
Good. I'm
So
for the teaching
after
episode.
the one day of teaching kindergarten, I had a second grade class where the teacher was like out for the week. And so I had the same students every day. And so I like kind of got to know them. But like on that first day, I was holding the door, letting them all in. And they go, where's Mrs. K? And I'm like, I am Mrs. K. What are you talking about? And they're like, no, you're not. I'm like, yes, I am. And they go, if you're Mrs. K, why do you have glasses and a big nose? And I'm like, damn. Okay. I guess I'm not Miss K. I was like, all right, students, I guess playtime's over. I'm not Miss K. You figured it out. Have I told you what they call me?
No, what do they call you?
Well, on the first day when I was just like observing I was sitting in a third grade class and a student came up to me and was like, what's your name? And I'm like, James. And he was like, okay, Mr. James, can you help me with this? And I was like, I like it.
All right.
So
Mr.
everyone there calls me Mr. James. And then occasionally like one teacher or like a administrator will call me Mr. Coyle and everyone will be like, who are you talking about? What's going on right now?
Oh, you mean Mr. James?
Oh, you mean Mr. James? Yeah, exactly. It was like, so I ended up having that second grade class for 2 weeks. This teacher was out for an extra week unexpectedly. And so the first week she had a lesson plan, and the second week she did not have a lesson plan. And so I was like stuck improvising a lesson plan, and the classes rotate in second grade. So I was teaching all second grade English, which was just spelling. It was just, we're gonna learn to spell some words for a long time.
Right.
But by the end of the 2 weeks, I was just like, so who here thinks James is my last name? And all the students raised their hand. And I was like, who here thinks James is my first name? And nobody raises their hand. And I was like, I have been lying to all of you for 2 weeks. James is my first name. And they were like, what? I was like, nice.
You're Mr. Coyle. Boom, gone. Yeah, I was gonna ask if they thought James was your first or last name. But
yeah, they thought it was my last name.
So what were some of the words that you were trying to get him to spell, Mr. James?
There was a pre-approved list, like sister and dentist and doctor, which is like, I was like, a doctor is when you're sick and a dentist is a doctor for your teeth. And they're like, cool. And then they all failed their spelling test at the end of the week. And I was like, this is on me. This is a reflection of me as a teacher, as an educator.
This is really where my lack of educator experience shines. You know, the part where I have to administer tests based on my educating. Yeah, camp counselors don't have to do that. No, that's a little outside of their JD.
When I was that teacher came back, and then I had to substitute for the technology teacher, and it's like every grade goes to technology for like an hour or hour and 15 minutes, and that one was really, so they just like go to their computers and like play on their tablets or whatever. So in second grade I was pretending to be a teacher, but as a technology teacher I really felt like I was a substitute teacher, in the sense that I was really just trying to keep them alive. I was just like, please, no bodily harm to the other students. Other than that, there are no rules, because he did not leave a lesson plan. None of the computers worked. I was like, I don't care, we're gonna play Stumble Guys the whole time.
Oh my god.
I don't know why
What?
they had Stumble Guys on their iPads, but they did, and so I
Wait,
just like
what's
crushed
Stumble
them in
Guy?
Stumble. It's
What's
Fall
Stumble
Guys.
Guy?
It's Fall
Oh, it's
Guys,
just
but
what?
it.
Oh, it's just the app form of Fall
Oh
Guys,
yeah, it's the app form. I mean, I think it's a different game technically, but it's not.
but it's
It's pretty.
not.
It's popular. It's not
That's
unknown, is what I
cool.
was gonna say.
Well, I mean, right? I guess I could have picked Fall Guys, Stumble Guys. The apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. This is
Yeah.
yeah. Then you kick their second grade butt in it or whatever. Or what
Yeah,
grade
every
were these
grade. Well,
kids?
it was a
Third
little of
grade.
every grade, except at the end of the day, I had middle schoolers, which is like a little of sixth, a little of seventh, and a little of eighth, all in one class. And I was warned beforehand. I was like, they were like, it's the end of the day. They're all from different classes. They will cause mayhem. But it wasn't that bad. They just kind of like ignored me. It was like I wasn't even there, which kind of hurt on a different level. I was just like, literally, I tried connecting with them. I was like, hey, everybody, this is really important. What kind of music y'all listen to? And they're like, and then they like go back on their phones. And I'm like, you're not supposed to be on your phones. And they're like, we don't even know who you are. I was like, okay,
Mr. James, Mr.
Mr. James, if
Whatever
that
your
is your
name is.
name.
Yeah,
I was
right.
like, okay, at least y'all aren't hurting each other. And then there were two girls who were like, hey, Mr. James, check out this new handshake we just made. And it's just like they dap each other up and then they like ram at each other full force. And I was like, no, there is one rule. There is one rule. Do not do that again. Please,
Literally,
no harm.
so they can't engage with you unless they're breaking the one rule. That's actually like
My girl was like,
they're pretty off.
I'm not gonna get hurt. I'm too strong to get hurt. I'm like, you're so strong, you will dislocate the other girl's shoulder. So please, please don't do that
Not
again.
you that we're worried about here in this scenario. Don't worry. So
Yeah.
yeah, I was like trying to think of what a technology class would look like in 2024 because I feel like when we were doing it, it was typing, right? Like
Yeah,
I'm
I
sure you had
for
like
the
the typing
younger
game stuff, right?
students it's typing. For the middle schoolers, apparently it's like music production. And I'm like, that's baller. That's kind of sick.
Whoa.
I'm
What?
like, that's pretty cool. But the computers they were all using like weren't working, but they still had their tablets for like games, so we just used their tablets and they didn't. I don't know. I don't know. I was only there for a day. I don't like the middle schoolers. I prefer the kiddies. I prefer the ones that
Okay.
because all of the students act up. But in elementary school, if a student's acting up, you can just hit them with a, hey, yo, what's 12 plus 6? And they'll stop everything and be like, a billion. And you're like, no, but you're close. Versus like middle schoolers are like, what are you talking about? Get out of here. I'm going to continue to be disruptive.
Right. I'm not going to do this math problem right now. I'm going to continue to talk to my friend and be on my phone and maybe dislocate this girl's shoulder. Like, why are you? You're not the arithmetic teacher.
No.
Like,
Oh my God. Literally, it was my first day observing. And every class was like kind of interesting. I get to eighth grade advanced English class, and they're all working in small groups on English paper, on research papers. And I'm literally just like sitting at the back of class quietly, like nothing is going on. There is no lesson. It's literally just me like sitting there silently passing the time. At one point, I pull out my phone and I'm like, I
okay.
must be like texting Brittany, and then the teacher notices and she goes, just a reminder to everyone that we don't use our phones in class except for educational purposes. And so I just like put my phone away quietly and I was like, I just got yelled at for being on my phone in class. I'm like, am I in middle school right now? Is what's going on? Did I never leave?
Like, I didn't think these rules applied to me. Like, I kind of thought that, right, the teacher would be cool. Like, you
Oh
were
my
the adult in
God.
the room.
Oh my
No.
God. I still
Damn.
literally at lunch asked for two ketchup packets. I go up to where the ketchup packets are. There's a teacher who's there who's like, what's going on? I'm like, I need two ketchup packets. He's like, for how many students? I was like, one. He's like, each student gets one ketchup packet. I was like, okay, this one asked for two. He was like, okay, don't let it happen again. And I go back. I'm like, who is this ketchup keeper right now? What is going on? There's some.
Yeah.
I said this to my sister. I was like, when you're a kid, there's some teachers at school who just seem miserable. and then you grow up and you realize that no, yeah, they are just that miserable.
Yeah, right. It wasn't that like you're viewing them through a slanted lens because
Oh,
you are actively being in trouble as a kid. No,
yeah,
it's that there are just some miserable people in there. Like you're right. I
yeah.
can't think of a good reason why the kid can't have two ketchups. You
A
know?
different kid asked me for a ketchup packet. They had already used their first one, and I was like, fine, I'll do my best. I had to go back. I asked, I was like, can I have one ketchup packet? And I swear to God, he asked, for how many students?
Great.
One. Yeah, I'm like, they're going to split it. It's for one
They've learned
student.
to ration. They've learned to ration the ketchup. Your rules are working, sir.
I was like, because so many teachers are strict. And as soon as you talk to them as like now a fellow teacher, they'll drop it and they'll be like, "Oh man, these kids, am I right?" And you can
Mhm.
connect to them, but there are some teachers who don't drop it, and I'm like, "Okay, this is weird, but okay, go off, I guess."
Damn. Well, are they like the teachers who have been there for a million years? Are they
I
older teachers?
I
Like,
don't know. I don't know. I'm still learning the dynamic.
right. Keep a notepad on that one. I want to see
Yeah.
if there's a correlation between how evil they are and if it's like a generational thing or if
Mm.
like there are truly just some sour people out there. I don't know. So you've got a month's worth of substitute teaching under your belt. You
Hmm.
generally seem to enjoy it or at least don't
Yeah,
dislike it.
the days go
Okay.
by fast. Like today I had pre-K and we just like played games and had nap time and I like read a book during nap time.
Oh, hell yeah.
Um and just like, hung out, but like all last week I was with 7th grade because there was one student who had an in-school suspension for a couple weeks for the rumors about why he got an in-school suspension. I'm not going to repeat them, but it seemed like he did something that he deserved probably an out of school suspension. Anyways, I'm going to leave it at that.
Okay. Yeah.
He was returning to the classes and I was just like to follow him around from class to class, making sure he wasn't too disruptive, which was
So
good. I was
this
like,
so you're like a narc for a week. You were like this kid's like big
literally,
brother,
I was
like
literally just like in class being
laboratory.
like, hey, we're working on this right now. Or like sometimes like with math and science, I would actively like help him with the work he was doing. And so that was kind of cool. But it was mostly just me like being there, being in the room. And so he was telling students that I was his bodyguard,
Yeah,
which is
right.
pretty
I think
funny.
good. I'm glad the kid was taking it in stride because that could very easily be like, oh, I got this guy following
Yeah.
me for like
It
that
was
much. Ooh.
it was weird. Um
Did you have to like go with him to like lunch and shit too,
no, I
or
took lunch at the same time as him. He so it was last week we had Friday off. It was like a professional day for the teachers, but not me because I'm not really a teacher. Um
yeah?
Yay. So Monday to Wednesday, he was great, like
Okay.
relatively great. I was like, why did they need me to follow him around? And then Thursday, he was a little too disruptive, and I had to kind of like be like, hey, what is going on right now?
Mhm.
At which point he called me an op,
Damn, bro.
and I'm like, oh, that hurts. That
Oh,
hurts.
it's
I was
because
like,
you
we were
are.
doing,
Like, you have
yeah,
to
I
be
know,
up.
I
Like,
know, I
you
know, I
are.
know.
It's just like, fuck, he knows. He knows what I am.
He knows. He saw right through me. It was also like like Spirit Week, so I was wearing a Hawaiian T-shirt, and I was wearing the Hawaiian T-shirt, and he saw right through
See?
that shit. What Hawaiian? How many Hawaiian T-shirts do I have?
Well, I don't know if you've expanded your wardrobe recently,
No, I
but
have one
like
Hawaiian.
you're
One.
the LGK Hawaiian shirt, I
Yeah, of
assume.
course, of
Okay,
course, of
that's
course.
awesome. No, that's a great shirt. That's a great shirt. I don't know where mine is. I think mine's at my parents' house, but I genuinely, I think it's out. Street name redacted. Or street redacted.
Street number
Um,
redacted.
but I think it's there because I've had this conversation with internally and maybe amongst other people. I didn't know what that pinging was at
I
first.
may. I Oh, I sent a photo.
I know I've seen it now, and I'm very excited to actually ask what this is. Um, because that looks destructive, and I'm not talking about the one with Charles E. Cheese.
Charles Entertainment Cheese.
So yeah, I feel like there is another big thing that has happened since we last talked, which is you went on a I don't know what you would call it. I don't
A
want to be like
vacation,
a vacation, a trek,
a
a
trek, an
pilgrimage.
adventure, a pilgrimage. Yeah, it was just my friend Mafu's. His wife was going on vacation to Costa Rica for 5 days, and he was like, "Well, that's cool. I didn't want to go anyway." And so he's planned a trip to Guatemala for 5 days and was like, "Hey, James, you want to come?" And I'm like, "Sure." And so he had planned this whole thing out. And the main activity was us climbing a volcano. Here is the photo. Open in browser. What are we doing here? This is not, hold on, hold on.
I'm gonna get real close to my, because I don't know, because that is that the volcano in question, the one in the picture that you
There are
sent
a
me?
lot of volcanoes, and is like we climbed one volcano to get a really good view of another.
Whoa, like,
And
because
so
that
this,
so you can correct me if I'm wrong, and maybe I'm spoiling the lead because I don't know if you're gonna like show the picture on camera, but that looks like an active. That looks like
yeah,
fire.
yeah, they
That
can
looks,
see it. They can see it. They can see it.
that looks like an active volcano. What? Huh? I didn't even know that there were active volcanoes. That feels like it should be a bigger deal. But
That was the view from our sleeping bag. It was
oh,
loud. You could hear it. So when we got there, it was still daylight, and every 20 or 30 minutes, 45 maybe, it's like random, there was a small or large explosion. And in the daylight, it was just black smoke. And sometimes it was a little, sometimes it was a lot. But once the sun went down, it was the same explosions, but you could see the red hot lava like spewing out. And so then there just happened to be one that was significantly bigger than all the others. Deafening boom. And then Mafu's got it on camera. My camera did not do it justice. And so I got to see it live. And then Mafu sent me that photo, and I've been showing it to like all the students. I was like, guess where I went this weekend?
that's like that's legitimately insane.
Yeah,
Like
it was wild.
that looks like hell opening up on Earth, like in the coolest way possible. Um, so and you just had to be kind of cool with there being the explosion every 20 minutes or
It
so.
wasn't it
Like,
wasn't that close. We didn't smell it. We didn't feel the heat. There was like one part of the group. So once we climbed there, Mafuz and I were done. We were not physically prepared for that volcano trek. There was an extended, you could, if you wanted to, hike some more to a different ridge to get even closer. We didn't do that. And I think the people who got closer weren't like in any danger. Obviously, they wouldn't do that.
I've done it.
And then
Right.
and then in the morning there was a wake up at 4 a.m., get to the summit, and you can watch the sunrise. Not the summit that was erupting, different volcano.
Right. Right.
Um,
Good.
uh, sorry, I'm typing it in. I'm trying to see the actual. Yeah, the elevation was 13,000 feet. That shit got to me. I got altitude sickness pretty badly in the night. So like we had that fucking. Okay, sorry. Climbing a volcano is hard on the legs, and
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
halfway up,
Yeah.
Mafu's got leg cramps, and he was dying. He was dying. He like everyone was like, have something salty, and so he had something salty, and it's like, have some food, have some water, do all this stuff, and it just like wasn't getting better. My legs were hurting, but it wasn't as intense as he was going through. We get to base camp. He's like, I'm not doing any of the extra hikes. I'm not doing the extra credit here. I'm just gonna
Right.
work on this. I'm like, yeah, I don't think I want to do any of that. Anyways, when we go to when we go to sleep, my legs really do start to hurt. I could like feel the pain of that day. And I'm like, damn, this is intense. And I'm thinking, I'm like, this is probably gonna hurt for weeks. Like, I don't know if you ever do like a really intense leg day. You can feel
Yeah.
it for like 2 weeks. Or in my experience, you're just like, this is a lot. And so I was thinking I was going to feel this for a long time, but I actually didn't. The thing is, once I fell asleep, it could have been the altitude. It could have been the fact that I was in a cabin with like 4 other people, all of whom were farting, but I like couldn't breathe. And so I like got I like felt like I needed to get out of there. It was probably like 2 in the morning or maybe like midnight. I don't know what time it was, but I like climb out of my pillowcase, open the door. I didn't have time to get my glasses because as soon as I stepped outside, I like started puking. I was like, oh
Oh,
no. And so I'm like there, like puking, glasses off, and I like hear another eruption, and I like it's all blurry, but I can still see the red, and I'm like, this is kind of cool in its own weird, fucked up way. And I'm
yeah.
like, okay.
It's probably like the
Was,
end of the world. That's probably like you. That's the
yeah.
closest I feel like you've ever been to like an apocalypse style movie. It's like fuck, puking. There's an explosion. I can't see.
It
That
didn't.
sounds like the end of a Twilight Zone character
It was
or end of a
brutal.
Twilight Zone. Yeah. So you're yakking through the night, maybe, or you're yakking
Yeah,
once and then
no. I like went back to sleep, got up 2 hours later, yacked again, and this time I don't know if I really want to like say this on the podcast, but I like also like really needed to shit and I was like throwing up on the way to the bathroom and like a little bit started to shit myself. You know what I mean? Where I'm
yeah.
just like, this is bad. This is a low. This is
Oh
this
man,
is rough.
that is a low. Oh
It
my
was
god.
so tough. And then like get through it, go back to sleep. 2 hours later, the same thing happens. I was like, okay.
Oh.
At this point, it's like it's not morning, but the people who have woken up for the sunrise hike are up, and so I'm like kind of sitting around the fire, and they're like, "All right, so counting heads for all the people going to the sunrise hike," and I'm like, "No, my head is not included in that count. I'm just here, to sit and pretend I don't exist. I don't know."
Yeah.
Um,
You had to fight. You had your own. You had 2 mountains to climb
two
that day.
mountains
Like
to
it really
climb.
sounds like there were 2 really big.
Yeah. And so both Mafuz and I were dreading the descent. Him because of his legs, and me because I was like, I don't know, I might die. I don't know. I'm running low on fluids. I
Like
might die.
literally empty. Yeah, you sound
Yeah,
like you're
yeah.
literally empty. Like
Yeah, the morning like we like kind of sat around and had breakfast. I didn't eat anything. I had some tea. Someone gave me some like ginger tablets and I like threw it all up, and this one hurt because like my stomach was empty and I kept dry heaving. I was like, this is so painful. And that was the last time I threw up on the trip, but it wasn't the last time I was kind of, until I made it back, was kind of like every few hours needed to hit the bathroom. Anyways,
wow.
we're about to start our descent. We're like gathered round, we're like about to start. I'm like, oh man, I gotta fart. I'm gonna step away for a second, and then
I'm
it
so
was just
scared
like,
where this is going.
and
I'm
then I'm
so
just like, and then it just like it's like a little more than a fart, and I was just like, and they're like, all right, time to hike down this mountain, and I'm like, with shit in my pants, really? This is miserable. This is so miserable. Not a lot, not a lot, not a
oh,
lot, not a lot,
it's
not a
just like
lot,
a little bit.
but like enough
That's
that it was miserable.
yeah. If it's enough that you have to even like dedicate a little bit of brain space to it, like that's too
Ah,
much. And
oh,
so
jeez.
I assume you had to walk down the descent
Yeah,
because
the descent.
nobody
It
came and
was
picked you all up, right?
No, it was steep, and it was like the dirt was like volcanic ash, sort of. It was just very loose. So every step you slid a little bit. So going up, it was like every step you'd slide halfway back down, and also up or down, there was a shit ton of dust being kicked up to like the point where your like snot was black. And going down was a lot shorter and steeper. So constantly people were falling over. And then at one point there was an outhouse, and I was like using it, and then I get out and there's a dude standing there who's like, "Oh, that costs 5 quetzal." It was Guatemalan money is quetzal, and Mafuz and I had no money, and we were like, "Ah," and he was
Be
like,
right
"No."
back.
He was like, "You don't." I was like, I really don't have it." He was like, "Okay." I was like, "I can't undo what I just did."
Right. Yeah, I
I'm
can't take that
so
back.
sorry. Yeah. Um,
Oh,
but we make it out. We fucking the whole trip was a success because I got that photo, and I didn't even take the
Yeah.
photo.
Yeah, no, you got that photo as proof of a once in a lifetime experience, and then you also have probably a stain as all
No,
other
no,
proof
no, no. You don't
of a
gotta say
time that you
that.
didn't have.
You gotta say
And
that.
but you shat for free in Guatemala, so there you go.
That's
Congratulations, man.
that's one way to put it. Yeah, that was it was a lot. We just were a little unprepared. Um the altitude, I
Yeah,
think, yeah, it got me. It
what is
got me.
altitude sickness? Like, what? I don't really even know why you would get altitude sickness. Like, not to be like, why are you built like that? But like, why are you? Why are you as a man
It's
getting
like
altitude?
you breathe in and you don't get as much oxygen. And so you're just like, I need more oxygen, and you're breathing and there just is less oxygen in the air, and so your body's like, it's getting stressful. We're going to get rid of a few things.
The only way we know how. Bleh.
uh,
So, and there was nobody like on. I assume you were. It sounds like you were on like some kind of tour. There wasn't anybody
there
like
was a
a
group. Oh, there was a
like
group
a
of
shaman
us.
to like give you air or something, like like a fucking inhaler or anything like that.
I
There was
mean,
no like fucking.
nothing like that. Um, there were a whole lot of stray dogs who stayed with us the entire hike and then walked back down with us. And I was like, I love these dogs. They were really cute.
That is really cute. Those dogs, and they've seen you through it all. So it's
They've
like I
seen me
feel like
through it
you
all.
should have been able to take one of them home. I feel like is the moral of
Yeah,
the story.
they were probably pretty sick, but they were still cute. It was nice to
So were
have
you.
the company. It was like, yeah, so was I. Exactly. It's a very good point.
They let you back on the plane.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
oh my god. So like it sounds like neither of you were physically prepared for this hike.
No, that's
It
exactly
sounds
how
like
I would put it.
neither of you were packed appropriately for what this hike could entail either.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean,
I mean,
what does that mean?
did Mafoosh have any bananas? I know you're supposed to eat bananas if you have cramps. You know why?
I don't think he had bananas. That was the problem. That was one of the problems. We didn't have
No banana.
bananas.
Yeah. So if you go again, now you know.
And so,
Well,
okay, so I thought my legs were going to be shit, but they weren't, which was great because next weekend I went to Universal Studios in Orlando.
that's fun.
Okay.
Woo.
Yay.
No, that is cool. That's like
I'd
I
never
don't know
been.
anything about it. I don't know who'd you go with? Your family or
I went with my brother John, nephew Noah, sister-in-law Emily. Um
oh
it has, Hogwarts and
yeah.
Hogsmeade. And so that was really cool because Noah's really into all that, and so am I. And they have rides, but they also have like experiences or like adventures where you like sit down and then there's like a little bit of a ride, but mostly there's like it takes you to different screens. And so like the first one we did was like a Transformers one where it was just like really high action, fast paced, and it's like something blows up in front of you and you can feel the heat, and like they knocks over a fire hydrant and like you can get sprayed with water, and then there are like drops, and then it's just like we got out. I was like, I haven't seen any of the Transformers movies in a long time, but I feel like that's okay because I was just in one.
Yeah, right.
It was really cool.
I don't think, yeah, I think, you know what, that's probably a more efficient way to experience the Transformers movies too. Because I
Yeah.
think you got in probably like a 10-minute, 5-minute, maybe less than ride about all 260 hours of the Transformers trilogy. Like, I think you got it. I think there are 3 of them. I don't really know.
260 hours? Is that what you said?
That is what I said. How long would that be? 260 minutes is what I
Yeah,
said.
I was like, how many Transformers movies are there?
Oh, I'm talking about the extended cuts of all
Oh
of
my
them.
god. 260 minutes, maybe. I have no idea.
I don't know. I saw Oppenheimer the other
I still
day.
haven't seen it. I saw Jurassic
It's
Park for
good.
the very first time, but I still need to see Oppenheimer.
Oppenheimer, really, really good. Totally get why it won all those awards.
I totally
Um,
get what people see in it.
yeah, that part, fucking Cillian Murphy does the stare really well. The like, you know, you
No,
know.
I don't know. I haven't seen it.
You don't know, like, do you know anything about like?
I
Have you
mean, I
seen
know
the
what it's
photo?
about.
Well, you know, like the J. Robert Oppenheimer photo where it's just like him in the hat and he's got like the 1,000-yard stare of
Oh
like,
yeah, okay,
oh my
sure.
God, I dropped 2 atomic bombs on the nation of Japan. Like he nails that look. He nails it. And Robert Downey Jr. also awesome in it. Think it's very funny that like he
I don't think
during
it's a
his
comedy.
no, he's very funny though. He not in the movie. He's actually pretty serious in the movie. But you know, he won an Oscar for it, and
Yeah,
he was
good for
like,
him.
he needed. He says, I think in his Oscar speech, how he's like, I needed this, after a career bounce back or whatever. Basically implying that like doing the Iron Man movies for like a decade kind of like fucked him over because he didn't have, he wasn't taken seriously as an actor. So it's kind
Hmm.
of cool now to see him
Hmm.
getting his flowers like that. But yeah, 10 of 10, go see Oppenheimer. I don't think I've seen Jurassic Park.
The original?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
No,
I had maybe
definitely.
seen
I
bits
don't
and
think,
pieces of it, but
yeah, I
Cam was
think
like,
I've
"This is
like
my
seen it over the shoulder of somebody on an airplane,
sure."
like,
Cam was like, "It's one of my favorite movies." Brittany said it was one of her favorite movies, and so we watched it. It was excellent. It was excellent. It was really good. Highly
okay.
recommend. Um,
One of your favorite movies now?
I know. I mean, I just saw it the one time. I got to sit with it a little bit longer, but it was great.
Okay. Okay. Good, good,
A lot of
good.
good
Next
people in
time we
it.
talk.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's what I've been up to for the past month. What about you, kind sir?
What about me?
Tell
Well,
me about yesterday. How was St. Patty's Day?
oh, it's delightful.
Because I did
Didn't
Uber
do,
Eats. I
yeah.
made money. I
You,
worked. I hustled. I was on my grind.
you Uber Eats a lot of corned beef and cabbage and shit like that.
Yeah, a little bit maybe.
Any maybe? I don't know. A lot of Guinness. So we went to Caroline came uptown, and we went to an Irish bar right across the street, or like a couple blocks up from where I live. Uh, and they had like a little band playing. Like it was really just like an older Irish couple. It was like a guy on fiddle and a girl on guitar, and they just sang little Irish ditties all through the evening, and it was very,
Hmm.
very nice. So had that and a couple of pints of Guinness, and then came back and watched the Celtics game. So it was a great time. And
That
then I
is a
didn't
great
have to work
time.
today, so yeah.
Wonderful.
So I went down to the lower side of Manhattan. I went to Union Square. There's a dispensary there called Housing Works that everything you buy there, a portion of it goes back towards New York charities, which is kind of interesting. So I happily
Yeah.
donated. Um, and then also went to a bookstore and I bought a couple books and I sat and I read
Fucking
and I read
nerd. Oh
the
my god. You
I
bought
know.
books and then read them? Who
Bought
are
books
you?
read them the day I bought them. I know. I was like, I am so. Look at me. I'm not mentally ill anymore. I fixed it. I did it. I think I've overcome. I've really, which is like, you asked me about the last month, and I was really only able to give you about 6 hours, and they are the most recent 6 hours. So, it's like good that you're catching me kind of on a high point, but no, it be
No, I had to
went
go
to
like to prepare because for last night I was thinking we were gonna do a drunk podcast. I had like written down the things I had done in the month, like and actually thought about it. If you had been like, "Hey, what'd you do last month?" I'd be like, nothing." Meanwhile, I like got a job and like climbed a
yeah.
mountain and all this
And
shit.
what happened the last time we recorded one of these? Like, is neither of us really prepared, and we got on and was like, "So, what do you want to talk about?" And I was like, "I don't know, nothing." Like, so, um, no, thank you for preparing the stories. I think I went to San Diego a little while
Oh
back.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Tell me about that. How was it?
That happened in the most recent month. It was amazing. Oh, it was so cool.
Mm,
We stayed at we stayed at Conseil Tito's, some of
mm,
Hannah's friends. Um, and they are incredible. They have a small dog that is also incredible.
mm.
And that like does I'm gonna do a little aside about the dog. Tita loves attention, and like when you stop giving it to her, she'll do the thing where it's like if you're sitting down, she'll stand next to you and just kind of like she's this big, so her paws are like this big, and she'll just like put her paw on your leg and be like, "Hello," and it's like
They're like, excuse me.
it's
Could you
like
please?
hey.
Hey.
I think you may have forgotten I'm here. But so stayed with them. It was a lot of fun. I mean, we basically didn't. We saw all of Hannah's friends, and we ate at a lot of the same places that we would eat.
Mm,
We would have eaten. Then stayed the last couple days in Encinitas, and that was awesome.
mm,
We were
mm.
at like this little motel that was like kind of could see the ocean from, and it was like right by where the train between
Yeah.
LA and San Diego goes by. So it was like, it was
That
really
is
cool.
nice.
And I mean, the biggest draw of it was February and, 65, 70
Yeah.
degrees.
Yeah.
Uh, so it was kind of just like, oh man, all I really want to do is hang outside. And that's really all we did. Like I got pretty sunburned actually,
That's
but
wonderful. Did you go
yeah,
to like Torrey Pines?
I went to the glider port. I did go to the
Which
I
one's
didn't go to
that?
the, so, you know, thinking Torrey Pines. I didn't go into Torrey Pines. Remember how you could like park just like along
Yeah, of
there?
course.
That like
Yeah,
that
yeah.
we did that one time
Yeah, yeah.
before we went to the walk where you don't have to pay. So we
Yeah.
parked there and walked
Yeah.
around and kind of like skipped rocks at that beach, but
Yeah.
didn't go
I
into
love that
Torrey
beach.
Pines,
Yeah.
but
But
did
that
go
beach
like
is good enough.
that beach is
Yeah.
amazing.
I
But
love
if you
that
go
beach.
around, like kind of by where Hannah's old lab building used to be,
Hmm.
there's like the
The
glider
golf.
port, which is like you go directly down and it's Black's Beach, which is the
The
nudist
nude
beach.
beach, which I
Um,
never got to go to.
just that's a shame, man. Just get back out there. Weather's fine, but they have basically like it's a long way down to the nude beach, and at the top you can like rent a hang glider,
Mm.
and people like get strapped to like a paraglider and jump off the cliff and
Oh shit.
float around for a little bit, kind of like that one kid in Avatar who can't walk, except you get to walk after. Um,
Did you see the new live action Avatar?
I did see the live action
What'd you
Avatar.
think
I
of
did.
it?
Um, it was okay. It was good. I thought the like Omashu episode was really interesting because it was just like that. And I was saying this to Hannah when we were watching it. Was like this. Okay, this feels like its own show. Just
Hmm.
the way that they have now like kind of like melded like three plot points from the original series that happen at different times. Between like Jet, Boomy, and then there was one other thing
The
happening,
mechanic.
the mechanic, all at the same time. And it's like, okay, like
Yeah.
like this feels like its own thing. Like I like where they're
Yeah.
drawing from.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily know if I would have picked these storylines if I was like
Interesting.
redoing the
Yeah.
Avatar
What I like
show,
how
but
they like took all of these like characters, like I think Yue's boyfriend or the person she used to be betrothed to, or like Boomy, those
mm,
are both good examples where they take these characters and change them just enough where you don't know how the episode's gonna end. You don't know what's gonna happen, and I'm like, that's awesome.
yeah, right. They taking Boomy from kind of being just like literally like an insane and kind of like childlike person to being like kind of bitter almost
Yeah,
after kind
yeah,
of like having to defend the city for 100 years.
yeah.
Uh,
Or like
like,
Yue's boyfriend not being an asshole. I was like, that's
yeah,
cool. That's a good decision. Like you
it's
now,
ridiculous. Change, right? So
yeah.
it's like, yeah, I liked it. I thought it was good. I mean, I feel like
It was
one,
almost it was hard to recommend to like my family, to people who
yeah,
like aren't already fans of the original. I feels like I'm excited that it was renewed for seasons 2 and 3 because maybe the exact same thing that happened with the animated show where the first season was decent and then seasons 2 and seasons 3 really fucking hit their
comes.
stride. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's like, and this is, I think, like a lukewarm take at best, but it's definitely like, at moments while watching the live action show, had the thought to myself of like, oh yeah, like, this would do a lot better if this was animated. Like this scene, like I really think that they'd be able to illustrate this a lot better if this
Yeah.
was animated. Um, and so I think there is just like something about, especially like, I actually think they did a good job with how bending looks. I actually
Yeah,
think they
I
did
think
like
so
a
too.
decent job with
Yeah.
how they like illustrated like the bending styles and like
Yeah.
I feel like if anything that was what I was most worried about. I was worried about
Hmm.
either like it was going to look bad or it was going to be like too expensive to make look good consistently. So like
Yeah.
there actually isn't going to be a lot of bending in this show. There's going to be a lot of like hand-to-hand combat.
Hmm.
Um but it wasn't like that. I feel like there
No,
was a fair amount of
but
bending, and it didn't look like shit. So like,
yeah, I
score,
liked
I like.
Azula
Please,
and Zuko and Iroh, all the Fire Nation people. The
yeah,
Fire Lord, I thought was great.
I liked. Hannah and I talked about how it's like we both thought Azula was going to be older, like because I feel like
Interesting.
Azula in. I always pictured Azula as like from the animated show as
Mm,
like maybe like
yeah,
starts
a few.
17 and then is like 20 by the time the thing is,
Mm,
kind of like, but this Azula, I don't know, maybe she just looks young, but like looked more kind of like Aang's age,
yeah,
like
but
younger. um
and she's like kind of almost like less in control. But I kind of like the idea of like maybe this is what Azula was like during season 1 of the animated series, and then it's like
yeah,
she's gets given a quest, she gets given a purpose, and then season 3 or season 2 when she actually enters, she's like, all right, now that I'm on my own, I'm gonna be running shit.
kind of more developed, right? That is
Yeah.
cool. That's a detail that like totally was lost on me, that like you don't actually see Azula in the first season
Yeah.
of the original Avatar. Like I didn't
Yeah.
realize that. So that
Yeah.
is kind of that's cool.
Yeah.
I like how it feels like they spent more time like making Zuko human a little earlier in the show than they did. Like
Hmm.
he's just kind of like a
Yeah.
complete asshole. Though I the Blue Spirit episode in the animated series is one of my favorite episodes. And I was really happy with how it turned
Yeah.
out
Yeah. I thought it
the
was a great episode.
in the live action. That was like I think maybe one of my favorite ones from the live
Yeah.
action. It's like,
Yeah.
ooh.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Yeah, because I think they do like for me the whole like I thought the episode was great, but it was going to hinge on how they did that last scene
With
with
the
like
friendship.
with the do you think we'd be friends 100 years
Hmm.
ago or whatever, and I
Hmm.
think they like kind of killed that. So
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
yeah, very
I'm very
content for
excited to see like the next seasons, you know. I
yeah.
feel like a lot of music has come out.
Yep.
Aaron West. 21 Pilots. New album.
Yep.
New single. Have you
Yeah,
listened to it?
I have listened to it. um it's I listened to it and I was like, yeah, this is a 21 Pilot song. This is like
Yeah.
definitely um
I
it
mean, you're
didn't make
wrong. It's
any
incredible.
playlists. Right.
It's
It
the
didn't make any,
it's
it hasn't made any playlists on for me yet.
I'm gonna just show you my on repeat playlist. First is Overcompensate, the new single. I think it's so good. I think it's maybe like one of their best songs, if not their best song. It's so good, in my opinion. I've been listening to the new Ariana Grande album a lot, so there's some songs from there. All of the um, Aaron West singles are incredible, and I also Talk Too Much by Renee Rapp is in my on repeat. That's your
Oh, hey,
doing.
that's in
That's
my on repeat too. How about that?
or the Wonder Years put out a new single called Year of the Vulture. That's pretty good. As well as Mono Moon, One Liner. I don't know if you've heard of this song.
Yeah, dude,
You put
that's the bass player from.
I know you put me
Okay,
onto
yeah,
it.
you were fucking with me, right? My bad. Um, yeah, I have all the Aaron West songs in my on repeat right now. I literally love Alone at St. Luke's
It's
so
so
much.
good. It's so good. The line
So
that always
good.
gives me chills is when he says, in the last verse, he says, the stained light just hit me in the chest, just punched me in the chest, because it's like a mirror of get me out of here alive, when he's talking about like sitting in the parking lot of the church, and he's like, I can hear the choir of the church of the mass, but the light from the stained glass windows, the light didn't reach me. And then to this, he's like, I'm alone in a church, and the stained light just punched me in the chest. And I thought that was such a cool parallel. And then when I listened to the podcast where they talk about the episode, they don't make that connection. And I'm like, no, that is the best part.
Right, because they talk so much about lore in that episode. There is
Yes.
like a lot of world building which that episode of the podcast also great. Really feels like
Mm,
they've got their feet under them. First couple of
mm,
episodes, it did seem like they were kind of like, we don't know what we're doing, and now it
mm,
really feels like
mm,
they've got it figured out.
mm.
Um, but yeah, no, it like. I'm really excited for this album. I think this is gonna
Yeah.
rock.
I think it's gonna be so good. Have you noticed that they haven't said they've kept Sam's pronouns gender neutral?
Yep. Yep.
Because
We don't
when
know.
we don't know, because when what's it called, the first single comes out, in lieu of the title track comes out, I thought it was Sam was like about a male platonic friendship. When they talk
Yeah.
about it, it's like, and even the second it's like, oh, I see this person from high school named Sam, I get off Friday, let's get a drink. And it wasn't until the podcast did they start talking about like seeing this new character who is so important, and the music changes to almost a romantic feeling, and I'm like, oh
You
yeah,
know?
yeah. And then the line that like didn't make any sense to me until that moment was, nobody's seen me without my clothes on in
Without
almost a
my
decade.
clothes
And I'm like,
on, I'll
why is he
decade.
telling his dude friend this? Who cares?
It's like Sam, what the fuck? Well, right. I mean, the other conclusion is you can be like Aaron West gay? Question
Yeah,
mark.
yeah, yeah.
What
Or I think it's,
a wild. That would be a wild. Like, here's like, oh, third album, last album. By the way, he's been gay this whole time. Like,
um
surprise.
I think that I feel like there's a decent chance that they keep it gender neutral, and then it's like kind of open to interpretation. I
I
don't
like
know,
that.
actually. I have no idea. Because
Well, I feel like
yeah,
well, because we don't really know what their relationship is. We don't know, like,
yeah,
we know the
yeah,
start and we know the end. We
yeah,
know, like,
yeah,
he got reintroduced
exactly.
to Sam via this job, and now he's like apologizing to Sam
Hmm.
out in a car outside and says, "Right, I have trouble with intimacy."
Yeah,
Like, so yeah, we don't really
I don't know.
know
I don't know.
what happened there, right? So that's going to be an exciting, and we get two more singles. I don't think they're probably going to tell us anything either, um, because I don't think they do that before.
Yeah,
I feel like he does. I feel like they're trying not to give away the whole story,
yeah, which is great, which I appreciate.
which
But
is
yeah,
probably also really hard to do
I
too.
know.
Like in like
I
also
know.
put out singles is probably really hard to be like, yeah, that balance. I am really curious to actually see how they
Um,
decided to do that.
but
But maybe the podcast will talk about it.
yeah, maybe the podcast will talk about it. I got 2 tickets to see them in June, in Boston. So I'll be in
Oh,
Boston in early June. What, the 13th? And I'm like, oh
oh,
yeah.
okay.
And then I also got 2 tickets to see Microwave on June 7th because they're coming out with a new album. Oh my god, April, I'm gonna be so obnoxious. Are you ready for this? It's like,
I'm ready.
uh April 5th, the first Friday in April, I'm like checking my calendar. I pay Netflix $23. Okay, that's no good. The second Friday in April is Happy Aaron West Day. Friday in April is Happy Taylor Swift Day. And the fourth Friday in April is Happy Microwave Day. Um, I don't know if you've listened
Taylor
to
Swift.
the. What do you don't know
What?
about Taylor Swift's
No.
new album that she announced at the
Oh, is that the
Grammys?
Deadweight Poets? No,
Yeah,
the Dead Poets Society or whatever.
tortured
Tortured Poets.
poets department.
Oh,
Yeah,
my bad. Fuck.
you didn't put that in your
Yeah,
calendar.
yeah.
That's weird.
No. Oh, yeah. My bad. My bad. My bad. My bad. I'll get that. I'll get that changed. Right.
I
So
don't
we've
know if
got
you've heard
Aaron West.
any of the Microwave songs, but they're all fucking incredible. They are a very good band. And so I got 2 tickets and I was like, okay, me and then someone else, maybe probably Zach. And then Zach Snapchats me. He's like, I got my ticket. And I'm like, who else could I bring? Meanwhile, I did like a Twitch stream where Noah tuned in, and independent of anything I said, he was like, oh, I love this band Microwave. And I was like, how the fuck do you know about Microwave? And he's like, my mom. And I was just like, your mom has such a good taste in music. So now I'm going with Noah. And it's going to be like
Oh,
his
that's
first like
awesome.
real concert.
Oh, that's gonna be a good moment that
No,
you
it's
get to
going to
be
be
there
so
for.
fun. It's so
Oh,
good. I mean, like he's getting spoiled because in my mind, Microwave is like the best live band. It's literally Microwave and Aaron West, two so radically different genres, but like top tier performances.
yeah, and you're getting them
Yeah,
back to
yeah.
back in
What a
June.
week.
Oh, that's gonna be that yeah, I know. You know what? April 2nd is for me. Is that Taylor Swift Day for you? Is that
No,
Microwave Day
Taylor's
for you?
my no, April 5th is I pay for my Netflix subscription.
Oh, okay. Well,
It's just
while you're
in my
doing that,
calendar.
I can't remember if it's April 5th or April 2nd, but one of them I'm seeing Olivia Rodrigo, and that's going to be really fun. I'm very
Cool.
excited
Great.
about
Have
that.
fun.
Yeah, I will. I will have a lot of fun, actually. I'm going with Hannah. Caroline's going to be there also, not with us, but there. And I think she's already like got a list of songs that are going to make her throw herself off the balcony.
Oh my God.
So I actually think that's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm really excited. I feel like I'm a big O-Rod guy.
Yeah, she's
I think
very
she kind of
good.
rocks. Have you seen
I
like any of the videos from the tour so far? Because
No,
like
not at all.
she fucking rocks, dude. She's
I
like
believe
up
it.
there. It's
The only
cool.
song I think I don't like is like the single she did for the Hunger Games. Was it the Hunger Games? Catch Me Now or something?
Yeah, I think that was the Hunger Games.
Did
And
you like that song? I like the album so good, so much. What'd you say?
I don't even I guess I'm a purist. I only know the two albums. I don't know any of this
Yeah.
tangential stuff. This is like I'm like Aaron West. I'm like I only like the canon stuff. I don't do the
What?
covers. Broken Chords, no. Here.
You don't like Broken Chords?
No, that was just the only cover I
It's
could think of, man. I'm
it's not Broken
sorry.
Chords, it's Favorite Chords. And that shit is so good. That's so good. Maybe yeah, that okay, I'm mad.
Hey, it's okay. It's okay. You know what? That's what we're all about. We're all about stirring up a little bit of drama and controversy here on the pod. That's what makes it a good episode.
Yeah, okay, sure.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So, any other music or TV or happenings from the past month for you?
Uh, music, Bad Bad Hats, band I really like, put out a song about Tampa. So
Oh
I've been
shit.
meaning to
Okay,
check
okay.
about that. It's kind of
I'll listen
cool.
to
It's
it.
got like
Damn.
little swervy guitars in it. I also think the lead singer's mom is from Tampa, so that might be.
Swervy guitars. I'm
Yeah,
excited
there
to
you go.
listen to it and be like, maybe those are swervy guitars.
Or maybe Tommy just has a very limited vocabulary. I don't know. Um,
Maybe he needs to retake second grade English, and I can help with that.
help me, right? Help me. Educate me. Give me the spelling book. I probably could use it. No, it's been a busy month that I'm probably not going to do justice. I've been watching The Dynasty. I don't know if your dad has told you about that, but that's the thing on Apple TV about the Patriots.
Oh, okay.
It's like a 10-part series that's all about the like 20 years of the Patriots dynasty. But
Mhm.
it's cool because it's not like entirely about football. Like, do you remember? And this is going to be like a kind of funny thing either way. And do you remember the Aaron Hernandez thing? Do you know who that is?
Was it? What
He was a
was it?
football player for the Patriots who murdered somebody.
Oh no.
It turned out that he murdered like a couple of people and then himself because maybe he was gay. But
That's
like
not funny.
that's
It's not funny, but I don't. How do I not remember that? How do I not? It's like ringing a small bell in my head, but
yeah.
it's
See,
not
that's
something
why
I
I was like,
followed.
yeah, I was like, this is gonna be like, I don't think there's a good answer when I'm like, remember the Hernandez stuff? Well, they do a whole episode on it, and it's like good. Like Hannah walked in while I was watching it. Has no interest in football, but had a lot of interest in this like
Yeah,
mystery
of course,
thriller that is
of
about
course.
Aaron Hernandez. So it's good. It's like it's just like good TV, you know.
Okay.
Which is I'm surprised.
Yeah.
Uh, my both of my siblings were in Greece for a little bit. Caroline was
Oh
there last week.
yeah.
Emily's still there. My mom is there right now.
Oh really?
Uh, yeah.
I don't have her
So
location. Weirdly enough.
that is a a little odd on that one, but I can rest assured she's in Greece.
Cool.
So now my entire family except for me and my dad my dad's left the country separately, but my entire family except for me and my dad have left the country and I haven't left the country all year, is what I'm trying to say. But that's changing. What are you doing for the summer? Do you
Going to
have
Italy?
plans? Yeah, do you have plans like for? We can talk about
Oh,
this off pod if you're
off the
not trying to
podcast.
like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Because
we
I
want to
don't have any
go early
plans.
and stay late. But it depends on my sisters, not me. I don't care. I'll do whatever. Depends on my
Yeah,
sisters.
yeah. I heard that one of your sisters wants to go before and one wants to go after or something like that.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that my sisters are in a bit of a stalemate too. But my where nobody has like money in these situations. It's just like, what are we talking about? What are we doing? We're gonna
We're gonna
maybe
run out of money quickly, is what we're gonna do.
right, exactly. I'm like planning like these 2 weeks before the wedding, like I can fucking afford anything. But like, I just figured I'd check in to see like if you were like, oh yeah, no, we've got a house in Barcelona or something like that for
No.
for,
Not
for
that I know. Not that I know of.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I don't know any. We should plan that. Do you have your passport and things like that? Well, you must have. You
Yeah.
just went to Guatemala and shit,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like,
I've had my passport updated and stamped because I
at a
travel.
boy.
Getting
At
through
a
customs was
boy.
kind of wild. There was a guy who was like, "Stop, fill out this form declaring why you're entering the country," and I'm like, "Okay, for fun."
Right, did you give like specifics? Did you say vacation? Did you say
Yeah,
to
yeah,
hike a
yeah.
volcano?
Yeah, for fun. And then on the way back, it'd be like, turns out it was all business. That shit, that was work right there.
A workout. That's what
That was
I'm
a
going for.
workout. Yeah.
Yeah, I think uh, I've been doing a lot of traveling. I'm doing a lot of interstate travel. I've gone to a couple of open mics. That's another thing I've done
Oh my
recently.
god.
Um,
You
there's
were waiting to
one.
tell me that. That's awesome. How'd they go?
Yeah.
What'd you play?
They went well. I've played God, I'm struggling to think of the names of my own songs right now, but I played Burn. We did the new ones. I basically did all the new ones that we've been playing with you. I did Bird Brain, I did Glass, I did a few. I've only gone twice. And
Okay.
each time you did 2 songs.
Okay.
But it is a weekly open mic. So I guess that is half of the times that so
Yeah.
doing not bad. All right. I know it
Okay.
doesn't sound like a
Okay.
lot, but I'm doing okay. Watched a fair amount of Curb Your Enthusiasm recently too. Getting in,
Really?
yeah.
That's what Cam and I have been going through. Did you start at season 1, episode 1?
Yes, I watched it on the plane to San Diego. I'm sorry if you
That's
can
funny.
hear that there's an emergency going on outside, but there
Do they
is.
need you?
It seems like they might. If they keep honking, I'm gonna have to check. But
They only
no,
have like season 10 or something, I bet.
yeah, it was like season 11. So like on the plane, I watched all of whatever the season is that opens with the guy drowning in his pool because he doesn't have the fence.
Oh, yeah.
And he has to
Yeah.
cast the daughter in the Netflix show.
Yeah, that's like the most recent season. Well, not the
Yes.
season that's airing right now, but the season before. Yeah.
So I watched all of that, and then I went back and I started at the beginning.
And then
So
you're just
that
like, these aren't even the same people.
no, yeah, exactly. It's
Yeah,
just
they're
like
so
I don't know.
literally. Cam and I watched like a little bit of The Good Place, and then we swapped to like early Curb, and Ted Danson's on screen. I'm like, oh, you know who that is? And he's like, what? I was like, you know who that is? He's like, no, I don't. I was like, I promise you that you do. And he's staring at him. He's like, James, I don't know who that is. It's just Ted Danson without white hair, and he's like, never would have gotten that.
No,
Never would.
but no, yeah. Wow. Okay, cool. Yeah, so but the open mics have been going cool. They're in Ridgewood. So it's a little far from me, and they're on Monday nights. So I'm not at it tonight, but I was
Because
planning
of
on.
me?
No, not because of you. In fact, this was a great excuse to not have to traverse an hour and a half to it. That's the
Boo.
biggest inhibitor.
Boo.
Is it so
It's an hour and
far?
a half. Yeah.
What? It's literally like I feel like I live in the most poppin' city in the world. Why are there like 6 open mics?
Yeah.
Why are they all an hour and a half away? And you know what? I know there's only 6. It's not like there's more and people aren't going because the 6 that do exist, every time I've gone, it's been like literally like I sign up would be at like 6:30, and the first time I went I signed up at probably like 6:45, and I played at 12:15 a.m. literally like
Yeah.
6 hours later.
Jesus Christ.
And that was the first time I went, and I was like, you know what, I know I'm at the end of the list, but people are gonna leave. I'm just gonna stay. Fuck it. I traveled an hour and a half to get here.
Yeah.
Because that's like the thing. Because it's like once I'm there, I will wait for as long as it takes to play. Because it's like I traveled so far. I went, so it's just like I'm just gonna start an open mic in this room. I'm actually gonna. I'm actually gonna.
That's the thing is people would show up.
Yeah, I know. I would need a lot of guest passes for this, but we can make it work. Like,
Damn.
but it's been good. I've been trying to like actually play. music more, and I've been sticking to that. So
That's wonderful.
fun, yeah, it's good on playing guitar. I'm sorry that I'm not coming down at the end of the week to play at the Kava Lounge.
That's in
Um,
my calendar. It's like the show at Manatee. No, that can't. That be that. I don't know. I don't
have
know
you
about
seen
that
that guy
one.
since? Have
No,
you
we
seen
haven't.
that guy
I
since?
have not been back since then. Um,
Really? I
yeah.
mean,
I
it's
mean, so because the thing is on Wednesday nights and it goes really late, and I now go to sleep at 10 p.m. and wake up at 6.
wow, good
Yeah.
on you, adult. Fucking amen. A plus. You can't be at these non-alcoholic bars. You can't have late nights at the fucking
No.
like whatever
No.
the fuck it's called.
I'll go to
Um,
trivia on Thursdays and I'll leave early. I'm like, it's that time. I gotta get out of here. Um, I did watch In the Heights. I was like,
oh,
oh,
hey,
this is
you see me? Did
this
you
is
see
where
me in the
Domino lives.
background? Because I see
um,
Lynn all the time. He's just, Manuel Miranda. Uh,
not like the city
no,
where we're
yeah.
from.
Uh,
And I've
um,
also been watching Abbott Elementary. Oh my gosh! I mean, it's just my
yeah,
life. But this new season, I don't know if you've been watching it. It's so
yeah.
funny,
Oh
so
no, I
funny.
haven't. I have.
Oh my
It is
god,
really, really good.
isn't it so
Yeah,
good?
yeah, and it's you know what? It's good to hear that it is kind of close to real life for you. I'm sorry that you can maybe relate to it, but I bet it makes it even funnier because
I
holy,
loved the episode
I
with
bet.
like Tariq. I'm like, oh, I'm so glad they brought this character back because he's so good. He's just like, what's up, Tariq Jr.? That is not that child's name.
Nope. He can now right. He tries to be the stepfather for
Yeah,
the kid that he's been dating his mom for like
yeah,
2 weeks or
yeah,
something.
exactly.
That is
Or Gregory tries to like not seduce, but like flirt with the principal. He goes like, "Ah." And she's like, "Put your arms away, Jeremy Allen Black." I did watch all of The Bear. What a good show. Okay, we're getting sidetracked.
that's on my to-do list. Yeah.
You haven't seen
Oh
it?
my
It's so
god.
good. It's so good.
No, I know, I know. Like I said, on my to-do list. I'm trying to get Hannah to watch it with me, but it's
Oh, it's
just like it
intense.
keeps
Yeah.
getting bumped. Yeah, but it's like supposed to be funny, right?
I
Right?
think it's really funny.
Right.
I think it's really funny. I've heard people be like, this show isn't funny. And I'm like, it's my sense of humor. Where it's like, wow, some fuck shit happens. And then they just kind of like look at each other. And nobody like cracks a joke, but it's funny. You know? Just watch
Yeah,
it.
no,
You'll know what I mean. You know what I mean.
that's no, I would enjoy that. And you know what? I'm gonna actually say, if we could get a little time stamp of this marker and tell Hannah to fast forward to this part of the podcast, only watch that and then close it. And then maybe we would watch The Bear. So, looking forward to that. Send me that timestamp when you get it. When you fix this up in post,
Okay.
because I know you do that. I know you touch these things up. You put
Touch
an
this.
intro on one of the last ones, and I thought that was good. I liked that. I was like, wow, we're like, this is. I liked that. I was like, that's
There's like, but I didn't, I think it was important that I missed a very crucial thing, which is in the bottom corner saying coming up on this episode. Instead, it was just like, why the fuck are they talking like this? What the fuck?
it was kind of like you're dropping them right into the fucking heart of the episode. But I liked that. I was like, we're big time. I gotta prepare for
Big
these
time.
things. Like,
It's like,
James
no, it
knows
should have like coming up and like a little bit of intro music. And the intro music starts when the clips stop, but the intro music kept going until I said something funny. And then it's just like, what is this intro? What is this intro? Working on it. I
podcast
think it's.
sorry. Yeah, it's a workshop. Podcast doesn't start till one of us says something funny. I actually think that's pretty fair. Intro music could run the whole time, maybe. Like, 50 minutes of just that bass loop.
My God. Have you ever seen those
That'd be
YouTube videos that are like an hour of silence interrupted by a metal pipe falling on the ground?
that I haven't seen that, but I can't. But yeah, I don't have reaction to that.
Oh my God,
That
it's
would
so funny.
scare
It's just, I'm just gonna have a one sound like just now be like, oh shit, that was playing this whole time.
me.
My bad.
Yeah,
It's just,
you know what, man? That'd be a great way to like jump scare me during this podcast. Is
yeah.
just like at one point, like just drop something.
Be like, sorry, I got a
Oh.
plumber in the other room. He's a bad plumber.
saying-
He's not good at what he
He
does.
keeps not-
Okay, I gotta start getting ready for bed.
Yeah. Well, and let's not take another month. I feel like we always end the podcast being like, let's not make it another month before we do this. But
Uh,
I think that's endearing.
well, next week I have spring break, so I'm not gonna be working. So I'm gonna be like, Tommy, 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 and I think I'm also gonna be streaming, and I think I'll have time to work on music, which could be
Oh,
cool.
hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, hit me up. My best. Hit me up on like next Monday,
Yep.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Actually,
Those are the days that I
those are the
would be on
days.
spring break that I would
Yeah,
hit you
yeah.
up
Feel free to hit
exactly.
me up in any during any of those days. I'll be good.
Any
Um,
working hour, I will be available
I will
if I'm
be
supposed to be on
available.
the clock. Yeah.
Then yeah, no, please take me anywhere. But so yeah, no, that sounds awesome. I think I'll be doing. Oh, I'm traveling to Lynn. This. So, wait, I'm sorry. Did you say not? Okay, never mind. Yeah, I've got my weeks confused. You're not on spring break this week. You're on spring break next week.
Right.
Okay, yeah, my bad. I know you just said that, but it's late. I need to go to bed too. Uh,
It is
yeah.
depressing, like watching it get dark behind you, and I'm like, well, at least that's not happening here. And then I'm like, no, it is. No, it
No,
does
it is.
get dark.
We're in the same time zone. Like it is not. Yeah, you
Yeah.
unfortunately, yeah, did get to watch the sunset behind me. Or maybe that was cool. I don't know. Time it passes. But next time we talk, I'll have gone to a Celtics game. I'll have seen
Oh
my
fuck!
dad. That's
What a
gonna
good
be real
hook.
nice. Yeah.
They were on a winning streak. What was it? 18 wins, 11 wins.
Yeah. No,
Eight,
and they
eight,
won like 9 out of the last 10 at home.
they
They're
won
they're killing.
18 games in a row. I didn't see any of them. I watched the 19th game and they lose. I'm like, no, it's me. I did that shit. I'm so sorry, Celtics.
Back into your hole. Go back under the rock.
I was like, it's
Call you out next season.
certainly it's not me. The next game was, I think, the Nuggets. Like that was the game after.
Yeah,
I watched the first quarter of that too. I'm so
oh, they lost.
sorry. I'm
They lost
so
that.
sorry that I watched the first quarter of that
Yeah, you
because it
damned
was my
the
fault,
whole.
obviously.
Yeah, I'm so happy that you can recognize when things are about you and really like nail it. Because, yeah, no, don't flip a game on here. You'll get it from me. I'll give you a weekly Celtics digest. Okay.
Okay, good,
To keep you from watching the games. I like that. I like that idea.
Yeah, wish I could watch
um,
them. Goddamn.
yeah, if only, man. Hey, next day on YouTube. That's
Is
what.
anybody injured? What's the update? Since
Oh, we're
the
doing
last
good.
game was the
They're
Nuggets.
actually playing right now. They're playing
Why
right
are you
now.
talking to me?
I know. Because I got to keep you distracted. I can't risk you flipping the game off. And
Well, I only get the
I'm
ones
not.
that are broadcast nationally because for some reason they're also on HBO. So
Oh
that's
yeah.
why. So when it comes up, I'm like, oh my gosh, finally I get to see one. I know.
No, resist that urge. Um, but yeah. So you want to talk? I could do next Monday if you want to
Next
do next
Monday,
Monday.
we'll lock it in
All right.
tentatively. Okay, yeah.
And
Have a good night. Give my
you too, man.
best. Take
Of
care.
course.
Bye.
Take care. Get some sleep. Bye.